Yo, we are live. Look at you guys. You guys are all filling up the room already. I had a guy that was going to come on and talk about like cybersecurity and hacking and stuff like that, but I don't know. I don't know where he. What the
Well, I
hell?
got in, didn't I?
Holy! Did you hack into my stream, dude?
In a way, yeah.
Oh man, I'm just kidding. Everybody, this is Alex Bestoso. He's a viewer, and yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, well, my name's Alex Bestoso. I am a software developer and an amateur computer hacker and cryptologist, if you would.
What's a cryptologist?
So you know what cryptography is, right?
No.
So cryptography, say you have a string, like my name, Alex Bestoso.
Yeah.
You can use cryptography to scramble that name and make it unreadable so that only the person who knows the secret can make it readable.
Okay.
So,
And so
yeah.
encryption, essentially.
That's exactly what it is. Cryptology is like a big cloud that holds everything related to encryption, cryptanalysis, which is attacking encryption, and blah, 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 blah.
Damn, that's crazy. Wow. So how long have you been like following us?
Basically, once I got my gun, I got my first gun, and then I became a fanatic, and then I just started following all the gun YouTube channels.
Nice, man. Cool. So that's how you found us, looking for gun stuff?
Yes.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. Let me say what's up to everybody in the chat here. What's up, Spore Brand, Thirsty Cult, Winter Scout, or Winter Scoot, Take Back America, Opie, John D, Opie. What up? Someone is calling me, but I'm not going to pick it up. I think that may be Shred that's calling me. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, guys. Okay, cool. So what kind of stuff? Oh, look at that. Bacon showing up to the party. Bacon 243 switched it up a little bit. Just left the folks for my dad's birthday. What I missed? We just started, brother. So you're in. So somebody said, "What's the topic?" So basically, I was being funny and I wrote "securing secure security," but it's essentially online security and cyber security and stuff like that. So yeah. So what kind of stuff do you do? Like, what are your skills? I know you said you do software, but
Yep. I'm a skateboarder, play video games. There is a guitar back there, but I'm not very good at it.
I see. Hey,
there.
that's the best way to get good at it is to have one and play it.
Yeah. I know how to find the notes, but that's it.
Yeah. Word. So what are some things, and I want you guys in chat to, jump in and ask questions too, but what are some things that people like often mistake for secure stuff online?
I mean, the biggest mistake people make is trusting a third-party organization to keep their information secure.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, like Google, Microsoft, all that, they're a little sus, you know what I mean? That's why organizations like Mozilla Firefox are always throwing up petitions for people to sign and support end user privacy.
How easy is it to get someone's information?
Well, I mean, you can use me as an example. Like if you go on Google, type in Alex Bestoso, you can find way too much information about me. And the same is true for most people in the world. That's actually a technique known as passive reconnaissance in the hacker world.
Yeah, I actually have a great example. Hold on, someone said something in chat. Apparently, Beretta 92 FS mags will fit in a Glock 43X if you make a small cut on the mag Okay, so funny thing, I just recently got my hands on a Beretta, and I slipped the mag in the mag carrier, and it worked perfectly. So that's funny. We need a hacker to get into the .gov. I'm not gonna go there. Tune around's a 12 gauge for $40. Damn, your Walmart has ammo? Mine don't. Um, what's the best way to store Bitcoin?
Well, personally, I'm not into the whole Bitcoin thing, but
Yeah.
best way to do it is to get your wallet, install it on a computer, and then encrypt the folder that the wallet is in, and then make a backup of your hard drive so that when some D-bag encrypts your data with ransomware, you still have it.
Oh man, that's crazy. Yeah, like a lot of people. Oh, and I remember. So can I just put Bitcoin onto a flash drive?
I believe you can take the file that represents the Bitcoin wallet and put that on a flash drive. It's all
Gotcha.
stored on a computer. So if it's stored on a computer, you can move it to another storage location.
Now, just so all y'all know, for everyone out there that's like all about Bitcoin, if we're talking about how, how much of a negative impact money has had on our culture and our, culture of consumerism, then who do you think created Bitcoin, right? You can't track down who created it. It's likely controlled by the same people that are controlling the printable money as well, or worse, other people. So don't put all your stock, no pun intended, in Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, you still have to pay taxes on your Bitcoin. I'm like, on my tax returns, it says like they have a little spot for placing in your cryptocurrency earnings. So it's not
Yeah.
really as solid as everybody thinks it is.
Yep. Yep. Built on a foundation of lies. No, I'm kidding. um, oh, so yeah, so like passive reconnaissance. So it's funny. We're looking for Kentucky Ballistics, the guy whose gun like blew up in his face. I'm sure you like most
Yep,
people have
we all
seen
know of
it.
it.
Yeah. What's up, Apache Wolf? So we're basically me, Matt Telhart, and the community got together, and we mostly Matt Telhart, but we got a whole bunch of stuff to send him a care package, and it's like a really high value care package. So I didn't want to just send it to his PO box on his Discord or whatever, or, his YouTube. So I was like, let's look into him. So somebody on our channel who's good at that stuff basically did some digging, found out that he had recently filed for found out his real name, and then found out that he recently filed for a trademark for his Kentucky Ballistics logo, tracked down the attorney and who filed the trademark for him, and we contacted the attorney and got connected with Scott. Like, there's so many different ways that you can not only find
Yeah.
your information, but people that you affiliate with, likely family members, social media accounts. Like, even on Spokio, I can find out the craziest things that most people wouldn't even believe.
Yeah, I mean, to give you guys some hacker knowledge, if you're in Google, if you want to restrict your searches to a specific website, you type in whatever you're searching for, and then at the end you type in site, and then facebook.com, for example.
I
So
heard
if you
about
type in
that.
someone's name, site, it's called the refined search, I believe. And that's a lot of hackers and people doing research in general use that tactic to get the most information out of their search.
That's awesome. I was responding to someone in chat. Yeah, Bacon. No one disliked my stream yesterday, which is funny because I was, smoking a CBD joint on on cam, which is hilarious. Yeah. So okay. So what are some tips that you think would be beneficial to the community?
Well, if you care about your security and your privacy, then number one thing that should go before everything you do is keep your software up to date. Sounds annoying, sounds redundant, sounds like something you hear every day, but that is how people get hacked. When it comes to privacy, I saw someone post it in the chat already. Get a VPN, but don't use a free VPN. That is the key, because when it's a free VPN, all bets are off. It could be run by the government, it could be run by a foreign government. You just never know. So you have to ensure there's a level of trust with the organizations that you're purchasing your privacy devices from.
Yeah, and I heard that, so a lot of people, when they want to go on the dark web, they, which a lot of people, I mean, that term is like thrown around very loosely, typically.
I can access the dark web from my iPhone.
Yeah.
Like I push a button, and now I'm connecting to Tor.
Nice.
That's
Isn't
easy.
there, so I heard that people typically go about this the wrong way. They download Tor before getting a VPN or something along those lines, or like, is there like a way to do it that's more secure?
Yeah, like if you're going like paranoid level security and privacy, like say you're in China and you know that they do not support free speech whatsoever.
Yeah.
First thing you want to do is you want to find a way to access a VPN. Second thing you want to do is you want to download Tor. Now, when you're in an oppressive location, just connecting to Tor, which is the onion router, directly, it can actually make it quite obvious that you are connecting to it. So they use things called bridges, which is just a technical thing. You have to really, if you want to understand that, you have to dig into it. But another main thing people do wrong is they use Tor from their house, like I just did. But
on their Wi-Fi.
VPN, Tor, and then doing all that away from your house on some other Wi-Fi.
Gotcha. Okay. So if, in theory, if someone downloaded Tor, like at home, I'll respond in just a sec. Game over. If someone if someone downloaded Tor like at home on their Wi-Fi, even in the US, and then went on a VPN, like if they took that route and then started going online doing a bunch of crazy stuff, could they potentially be tracked?
They wouldn't necessarily be tracked, but it'd be quite obvious that you're connecting to Tor, or at least have the intent to.
Okay.
Excuse me. But that in itself, at least in our wonderful America, is not a crime. It's what you do with the tools that's the crime.
Gotcha. Yeah, there's some pretty crazy stuff, even on the regular internet. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, like, the Best Gore, like, apparently that got shut down. A lot of other sites, like, what was it? There was another site where the guy, like, personally shut his own site down. I just can't recall right off. It was pretty big. It was in, it was being talked about a lot. Game over. Just to answer your question. So the Delta 8, pre-rolled joint. So I don't smoke. Like, I don't smoke weed. I don't do anything illegal. Just for all the Campbell's Soup guys watching. But Delta 8 is a completely legal pre-rolled joint or flower or whatever that you can get that has like 0.3% THC in it. So I haven't smoked in years. So the reason that live stream was only like 8 minutes is because I was lit. Like, I could not get off quick enough. So after like half that joint, I literally put it out and was like, okay, I am stupid high, so I'm gonna disappear right now. The Strawberry Thief was, so the common grounds are tended to by like our people's what do you call them, like landscapers, right? So I had all these strawberries that were wild that, I've literally dug them up, moved them over, planted them, put soil and enriched the area because I have like red clay, so it sucks, but they were growing. Like I literally have pictures of like strawberries like this big that were coming out of the ground the way our creator, intended. And when they were mowing the common grounds, man, the dude took a ride-on mower and just yanked, like I'm telling you, like literally like 3 feet, just took like everything, man. It's crazy. There's a channel called The Modern Rogue that does an Idiot's Guide to the Dark Web. Nice. The Goddamn Bacon said something about porn. Okay, let me get caught up here. I couldn't get off fast enough. Oh, come on, dirty minded. Sales for Campbell Soup. For real? Like your actual real first job was sales for Campbell Soup? That shows how old you are, Walter. Jesus Christ. What's up, B3? I always seem high. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, no, a lot of people are running around. They're using their Gmail. They're constantly on. Like, I don't think they understand the connection between like their device, Wi-Fi or devices, Wi-Fi, and their geographic location. And when they do things, that everything is recorded. Like everything.
Yes.
Yeah. So
yeah, one of the biggest issues is everybody says they have nothing to hide, but the reality is they have everything to hide.
Yeah. Your privacy, your freedom, it's your responsibility to hide and to remain private.
Indeed, you're right.
Your first job was working at a cemetery. A body after being in the ground for a couple of weeks is not pretty. Oh, come on, bro. We're going to be seeing enough of that in the boog. Come on. Yeah, Delta 8 is pretty ridiculously awesome. But, I mean, it may not be legal in your state, so keep that in mind. So what kind of machines do you use? Or do you use virtual machines?
I use virtual machines, but only for like studying hacking things, so I don't go to jail hacking things. But
Yeah.
I have a desktop that I built and a variety of other computers. I try to run one of each type of operating system.
Okay. So for the people out there that have no idea what a virtual machine is, explain that.
Okay, so a virtual machine. So you have your computer right now. You're all on your computer, be it your cell phone or your desktop or your laptop. That is just a normal machine. A virtual machine is a computer within a computer. So you download some software such as VirtualBox or VMware, and you go ahead and you download the disk file. It's called an ISO, but it's either a CD or you put it on a USB, and you can insert that into the VirtualBox or VMware software and have like a Windows computer, a Linux computer, a Mac computer inside of your current computer. And that is what a virtual machine is, a computer inside a computer.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And when you create a virtual computer, which like I don't know anything about this, and actually shout out to Kit Boga. I don't know if any of you guys know who Kit Boga is, but he's a scammer who scams scammers, right? Mm-hmm. But he only scams them out of their time. So essentially he creates a virtual machine, makes it look like it's not like a virtual, like a blank virtual machine. And then he even like writes code to make like fake banking websites. So when like the people through like TeamViewer or something like that, like remote access, they gain remote access to his machine, it's a virtual machine, to scam him out of money. His bank account says like he has like $278,000 in it or something, which it's all BS code. And then basically like, it's just funny to see him like keep them on the phone for like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours while they're on a virtual machine, and they're like, I locked you out, and he's like, yeah, bitch, it's a virtual machine. Like,
Yeah, I find myself just cursing at every spam call I get.
Yeah.
I don't get very far.
Yeah, I've tried a few times to spend more time with them. Just like if I have the time, I'll literally keep them on the phone and just do like a dumb white boy accent, or like, whoa, really, bro, and keep them on as long as I can. And they say the standard, like my vehicle was used in some type of crime in Texas, and it was a Toyota Corolla, and 200 keys of cocaine was found in the trunk, and like my I don't know, it was rented under my social security number or something like that. So those are the best ones. What's up, Goy? What's up, brother? Goy, oh yeah, I'll holler at you later about it. Yeah, but I thought the idea of virtual machines was cool, because like in my mind, I was like, you could likely use those for anything you want, and then just burn it, and it's just gone.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, there's like people that use Tor like religiously that are super paranoid or have a genuine threat to their life regarding their internet usage. They'll create what's called a live USB. So I'm not going to put my actual keys on anything, but here is the USB that I have.
Okay.
And this is a live USB that has Linux on it. If I plug this into a computer, assuming there's no like protections preventing me from going into like the bootloader or whatever, I can install an operating system in the RAM of the computer, the random access memory. And that lets you have a computer on a computer without leaving a trace that a computer was there.
What?
Yeah, if you want to learn more about that, look up the Tails operating system. Like Tails, like a wagging dog tail.
Hold on. John Rice says live USB Kali Linux is nice. Goy, what's up, brother? Thank you for the $5 super chat. I just saw in the news that there is a $47 software that allows you to sue the people that call you unsolicited and bank thousands of dollars. What? That's crazy. Space Texan, I love Kid Boga too. He's on Twitch too. He streams like 10 hours a day. Sorry, what were you bringing out there?
Yeah, I was just commenting on his comment about a live Kali USB. That's what this is. Same thing. Looks like a normal USB, but you plug it into a computer, and now you have hacker tools.
What? So you could literally jump on anyone's machine and like dump an operating system onto the memory, use it, and then remove it and leave, and it's like nothing ever happened.
Correct. There's ways to prevent that from happening, but a lot of computers, at least the ones that I've touched, don't have that protection.
I would
like the
guess
ones
that
in
most
high
don't.
school.
So hold on. So Techno says using YouTube anonymously. Now that's net magic. Okay, so I mean, I could understand like vaguely like how you would use YouTube anonymously, but if someone did want to use YouTube anonymously, how would they go about doing that?
Well, first of all, you would get a device specifically for using your YouTube, and then you would never use that device at your house. You would connect it to a VPN, and you would likely try to use software such as Tor to access the website. Though a lot of big name sites, they actually, so it's easy to tell which IP addresses are Tor nodes, and a lot of websites will block your Tor connection to their website because
I heard about
they
that.
want to leak you. Yeah. So if you want to use YouTube anonymously and you really want like on that paranoid level, get a laptop specifically for using YouTube that has no microphone and no camera, and then connect to a VPN, preferably using an alias if that's possible, and then connect to the internet and your VPN on some other person's Wi-Fi, like a coffee shop's Wi-Fi, and then use YouTube without logging into any accounts. That's really the only way I can really think about it. They may see that device signature, but they won't necessarily know who you are.
Now, it's funny because you mentioned like if you're on that like paranoid level, I would venture to say that the majority of the people in our community are on that paranoid level. Like I've talked to people that open up their cell phones, remove the mic, and they can only talk in their cell phone if they plug in a mic, headphones with mic or something like that. Because I mean, everything is always listening to everything and everyone all the time.
Correct. That's why iPhones, you could just show them your face and log into your phone because it's always looking at you. I don't have that feature on, but it's still looking at me.
Yeah. That's so like fingerprint and facial recognition. Like, why do you think that was introduced on iPhones? Do you think it was something malicious, or do you think it was just for ease of use?
Personally, I think it is for ease of use, but it has potential to be malicious. Because if you think about it, if you have your face set up to unlock your phone and you don't want some three-letter agency looking in your phone, all they got to do is pick up your phone and point it at your face. That's all they got to do. And the same thing is possible if you use the fingerprint to get into your phone. All they have to do is pick your hand up, place it on the phone, and I believe judges have determined that that is not an unconstitutional act. So they can just they can just take your hand and place it on a cell phone. Because they're not forcing you to speak. It's not like forcing you to tell your password. So they're not violating your First Amendment right to silence.
Wow. So they're just physically forcing your body to open up your personal information.
Correct.
That's crazy. That's nuts. Is that like a national thing, or was that just like do you know much about that?
I don't know too much about it, though. I'm fairly certain it's just something that no judge in their right mind would say is not the officer or agency's right.
The best technology is no technology.
You can't get hacked if you don't have a computer.
That's true. Dark, how do you find all these badass guests? Black magic. No, so I'm a federal agent. I'm an ATF agent, and I'm a state police. Which one was the other one? I'm a dark agent. That's why I go by Dark. Dark, please tell us how hard that blunt hit you last night. Okay, so it's the same thing. I'll say literally like this stream was like 8 minutes long, and I may be wrong because like it hit me, and I literally went inside, laid down, like I was gone. I was out. Dark CIA TFBI. Yeah, there's been a joke about people accusing me of being a federal agent, so I had to throw that in there. No, actually, so all jokes aside, Alex like found our channel and has been watching us for a while, and he came in, dropped a $50 super chat like a baller, and Sport Brand actually reached out to him, so yeah, man, it's all about our community, people in the community. I like Android with all the Google services removed.
My next phone is not going to be an iPhone, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. It's funny because originally it did, Joe. It did. Now for me, like, I'm sorry, everyone's asking me about this shit I smoked last night. Forgive me. So
wasn't no medical grade, I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean, think about like the level of THC at 0.3. Like that is like remarkably low. Like I've had edibles that are like 20 times that. But
yeah, I don't have any affiliation with illegal marijuanas.
Yeah, we would never do anything like that. my air conditioner needs Wi-Fi and voice recognition, for ease of use. But it's funny because look at like what people are doing with smart homes, right? Like they are literally installing like wiretaps all over their home. I mean, potential wiretaps all over their home.
You never know. They're tough to find. They put them in lights. They can drill a little hole, and you won't be able to see it.
Yeah.
Tons of ways to bug a home.
Well, even like
Put it in your TV.
Google, Alexa, like all those, like it's funny. There's a meme, and it's like a woman in a kitchen, and it's like or no, the first one is like it was explained to me. I didn't actually see it, but essentially it was like we can't do that. Like the phone could be wiretapped or something. And then in the next one, it's a woman in the kitchen that's like, wiretap, what's the best blueberry muffin recipe? Like asking like a Google or Alexa. Here you go. Dark asks if he thinks you would raise flags in today's day and age if you had no computer, cell, or any social media of any kind except an email. That's where I'm heading to, but don't know the cons.
Well, I mean, in an age where you can have the DHS knocking on your door for buying oil filters, I mean, I can't say that it's safe nor not safe. It depends on your behavior before you go off the grid. In general, the government hates it when people go off the grid.
Yeah,
they like tracking you. It's that simple. I would say do it. Just do it.
This is interesting. My boss freaked out when I showed them how a text message I can turn on the camera on their phone that easy.
Yeah, I remember. You may remember that bug in the SMS messenger for iPhone where you type in the like power effective and some random characters and have it just completely crash your phone. Exploits like that do exist. I think I was watching like a DEF CON or a Black Hat conference where they actually found a way to get remote access to a cell phone without any interaction through a text message. So bugs like that do exist.
That's crazy, dude. I thought like points. Oh, is it 0.03? I'll look at it. Sorry, whatever it is, whatever the legal amount is. Okay, that's what I did.
Ninth Amendment. All you need to know. I say that a lot, don't I?
Yeah. I hope my next phone is a wet blanket and a fire. What was I going to ask? So there's a lot of people don't know this. In this day and age, we just clickety click links like all over the place. But there is a link that you can get. You can do whatever you want. You can type in like whatever link you want, right? And it's an IP address link. Like you click it, or someone clicks it, and then it tells you where they are, whose the IP address is under, like all that. And then we'll get to Technoman's super chat.
Yeah, I mean, I can set up an Apache web server right now and have you all go to my website, and I will be able to log every single IP address that connects to that website. I mean, I have a website. I wouldn't recommend going to it, but if you go to it, you will see your external IP address on that website. At least the administrator can, and there's other information you can get from that IP address. One of the good things about the Tor, like the deep web, when you access a website with a VPN or Tor, it'll be the IP address of wherever your connection came out of.
Yeah.
So either the Tor exit node or the VPN. Now, if you're on Tor and you're accessing a .onion website, the only IP address that the web server will see is its own IP address. So like if you know what IP addresses are, the Tor website would see 127.0.0.1 every time.
That's crazy, dude. I what information can you get with an IP address?
Well, a good example, if all of you go open up on a new tab, go to Google, and you type in netcraft, Netcraft, you'll see a website, right? And if you go to the bottom of that website, you can type in like an IP address or a domain name like google.com, and you can search it. And from there, you can actually do a whole bunch of passive reconnaissance and whatnot and get information about that website, such as the
Really?
type of files being taken out of it, where the website is hosted, and all of that stuff. So I'd highly recommend netcraft.com if you want to see what's
Man,
up with an IP address.
that's crazy. Techno Man, thank you, brother, for the super chat. Never thought I'd give up one of my favorite web secrets. Use Little Snitch for keeping track of your net constant connections. I've never heard of that.
Little Snitch. Okay. This looks like.
That's a really cool name.
Okay, it has like a nice graphical interface and whatnot. When I'm curious about what's connected, I just use the terminal command netstat.
GKT, hammer down, brother. He said, I used Tor back when the Silk Road was around. For anybody.
I got to see Silk Road. I never bought anything off of it, but I did get to bask in its glory.
I also had the opportunity to see it, and like, whoa, never would have thought that I'd be scrolling through the eBay of narcotics. Did you hear about the guys that got busted by the FBI for dark web stuff, even though they were using Tor?
Yeah, there's a you can on YouTube. There's a whole. I think it's posted by the Black Hat's YouTube channel, which is a conference, and it's all about how bad guys got caught using Tor, and that has a whole bunch of good information. Basically, things that like, basically they were using. Basically, if you're using Tor, and you a single time decide to stop using Tor, you're screwed. You're caught. So if you're going to use Tor, use it all the time.
Really? Okay, so tell me more about that. What do you mean?
Okay, so there's a whole bunch of attacks that you can do to de-anonymize Tor traffic. So to understand that, you kind of have to understand how Tor itself works. I'll give you like a high-level explanation. Basically, your computer connects to another computer via an encrypted connection, and then that computer connects to another computer via encrypted connection, and then to another, and then to its exit node, and then to the website you're going to. If you're accessing these websites on the daily through Tor, the FBI may not be able to see. FBI is just kind of may not be the FBI, but I'm just using them.
Yeah.
They may not be able to see who is going to a website, but if they think that you are, they can see your computer connect to Tor, and then a short time later see an exit node connect to the suspected website that they think you're connecting to.
Mm.
And so that's they may see some correlation between your connection to Tor and then that website. And so anybody can run a Tor node, and that's what does you connect to that, then to the other thing. Each thing that hands off is a Tor node, and the government actually runs a lot of these Tor nodes. So if you have like 5 network hops between devices to get to your destination, and they control 3, they have a better chance of knowing who's connecting to what. And that's a lot of the big reason why Tor is kind of sketchy. I mean, if you're an American doing something sus, it's a little more tough to get away with it compared to like if you're a Chinese person or a Russian that's trying to hide from the government.
Yeah.
Though, of course, they also have their own Tor nodes. So that's why it's important for everybody, like you and me, everybody in the chat, to run their own Tor nodes. That way, we know who's running it. Yes, but only if the destination website is not using TLS encryption. You know, like the little padlock on the top of your URL. if they're not using that, your connection can be eavesdropped on.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So are there alternatives to Tor? I think I've heard of like one.
Yes, it's like a Freenet, I think is one. I've only used Tor, but there's like Freenet and there's probably another one. I can't remember the name, but they're not the
Yeah.
same as Tor. They're kind of like torrents. You know how they connect to each other's device, peer-to-peer type of encryption protection. But those other nets kind of, I think those ones are a little more sketchy. Like if you're trying to find illegal stuff, you'd go to Freenet.
Gotcha. Also, I still have like 10 Bitcoin I bought back then I can't access. I've heard a bunch of people say that.
Yeah, you're out of luck. Completely out of luck. Passwords are way too long to brute force. And if you could crack the encryption, you basically break the whole crypto system. I mean, I would love to be able to do that personally, but
Yeah. That's like saying the internet isn't for porn. What? Pretty sure the feds got Tor locked down, probably. Well, that's the thing. Like, it just, for the little dark disclaimer that we always do, this channel, anyone here, we're certainly not like telling you to do anything, stupid. Or
yeah, don't do anything illegal. Don't buy drugs off the internet. Don't buy guns off the internet. And it's probably even worse to like never go on the deep web for pornography. You are guaranteed to go to jail if you do that.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, because the way it's been like, yeah, I mean, the disclaimer, like he said, don't do anything illegal at all. We're not advocating for doing anything illegal at all. We're talking about being secure on the internet and the pros and cons of different things. So, don't do stupid shit. And you can buy guns on the internet. Just get them sent to an FFL dealer and go do a 4473 and do paperwork together.
And do it on the clear web, because if you're buying a gun, sending it to an FFL off the deep web, you're probably buying a stolen gun with no serial number. So don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't go on Tor unless you're like in China. No, just ignore me. Don't just don't do it.
Yeah, I mean, unless like you truly have a reason, like he said, if you go on Tor and then like if you do something stupid and then you stop using that, I mean, it'd be pretty easy to find you.
Yeah, I mean, use Tor every day, right? Use Tor every day. Just don't do anything illegal with it, and you're fine.
There you go. I like that. That sounds better. Don't do anything illegal. Wink, nudge. Come on, Take America. Yeah, and not commit crimes. Yeah, all that stuff too. Don't go on Tor. Who sent you? Okay. The files are in the computer. Oh, what a great Zoolander reference there. P2P, also good, but you got to be sure you use private torrents, not public.
Yeah, I mean, peer-to-peer. Well, when I hear P2P, I'm just thinking of peer-to-peer encryption, which if you trust who you're connecting to, it's safe.
Yeah, and actually, Sport Brand came up with like a remarkable. Well, I'll probably save it for another conversation, but it is a very cool and very unique way of sending messages amongst each other.
Yeah, all you need to know is I have purchased some devices. That's all you need to know.
Nice. Yeah, which are all totally legal. And when everything gets fried and, you're in the middle of the boog and, cell phones give all your information up, these things are going to be like your brand new iPhone. You remember how I said the Beifang is the iPhone? This may be something like a notch above that, but they're also pros and cons. They're pros and cons too. So we'll talk more. Maybe we should bring Sport Brand and you on to talk about like how we can like, bring that thing to life.
Well, I bought enough to make 2 of them. So if it works, it'll work.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. How safe is questionable PDFs being sent to Protonmail from a Gmail account? Oh, goy.
Well,
That's funny.
Protonmail is just it's normal email, but it's more privacy enhanced. You know, it's kind of like using Firefox instead of Google Chrome. You're not as likely to get spied on. And I believe it's peer-to-peer connection. But if you can send an email to anything, then that received email can obviously be seen by whatever receiving software.
So here's another thing, Goy, that I would keep in mind is questionable PDFs are not illegal, right? Like we literally talk about how to synthesize explosives on this channel, and that is totally legal as long as you are following all federal, state, local rules, laws, regulations, and restrictions, right? So anybody in America can use explosives. That is completely legal as long as you are using them for all lawful purposes. It's the same thing as guns, right? Like anybody can go do something illegal with a firearm, right? Like in some states, if you walk into a bank with a gun to make a deposit, that's illegal. It's what you do with the items that are illegal, even if something is questionable. So, but that was a good little jab there, Goy. I don't care if I'm sending questionable PDFs out via
Yeah.
email.
I mean, Tim Payne's got a good question.
Yeah.
How do you trust a VPN?
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
a Norton antivirus. So Kaspersky, I'm convinced they're just working for the Russian government. So I would not recommend use. Probably get a lawsuit personally for this, but I would never use Kaspersky as an American citizen. Norton, not too sure about Norton, but I don't know, probably the same thing as Kaspersky, but Americanized. And the simple answer is you can't really trust a VPN unless you know who's running it and who's running the servers, what the servers are running operating system wise. You can't really trust a VPN. You just kind of have to have blind faith.
Is there one that you know of that you could recommend, or is it just a roll of the dice?
I mean, personally, I'm using NordVPN.
Okay,
I caved into all the modern rogue advertisements.
gotcha. If you visited China, what would you use?
I would keep using what I'm using. Personally, I would not visit China for myself, but I would keep using my cell phone. I would not use any public Wi-Fi. I would use the cellular network, and I would continue using the VPN I am now.
Oh yeah. Heath L says ExpressVPN. Now,
I haven't used it.
from what I understand, and I'm not certain, right? It's like any company can say whatever they want. It depends on what they're doing, right? Nord and Express do not retain information. So when you go out and you go do whatever you do, like they don't document that and store it like in their servers. But how would you ever like know? There's got to be like if you've ever looked for something on the internet, you couldn't find it, and then you went to internetarchive.org, where every single thing that has ever been created and put on the internet is recorded and found. It's a little hard to believe that your information isn't out there.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to look at what the company is, where it's based, and who's running it, and then depending on what you're looking up, you would be like, okay, this company's located in country A, and what I want to do is suspicious relative to country B. So I'm going to go with country A's VPN or the company in country A's VPN because I know that country B won't be able to harass them for information. So it's all about knowing, kind of like how Snowden ran off to Russia because he knows that Russia won't just extradite him to America.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. You can use the same thought process for VPNs.
GKT asks, using a VPN and showing your face.
I'm not on the VPN now. And honestly, I've said a lot of suspicious things on the internet. It's only a matter of time until the DHS is knocking on my door anyways.
Yeah, you mentioned talking about something that uses reflectors. We don't need to necessarily talk
Reflected.
about that though. What you said, you
That's the
mentioned
part that needs ones.
building. Heath, ExpressVPN promotes Tor.
I'll have to give them a look.
Uh,
I'm still good for a year with mine.
the problem is the information used to be just that, and using it for educational purposes was it and nothing more. Now it's become the opposite, and the info is an admitted thought crime. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that is true, right? But like you have to think of it like this, like, what specifically are you sending out? And, if you have, so think of like constructive possession through the ATF, okay? If I have an AR-15, a 16 and a half inch AR-15, and then I have a 10-inch upper, like a complete 16 and a half inch rifle, and then a 10-inch upper right next to it, that could be considered constructive possession by the ATF, because I don't have the 10 and a half inch upper on a pistol lower, and I could very easily punch those two pins, put the 10 and a half inch upper on that, and have an illegal unregistered SBR. So, I think that like if somebody shared a PDF about how to synthesize plastic explosives from bleach, then if some Campbell Soup agency or some alphabet agency knocked on your door, well, as long as you're not sitting there making like pipe fireworks on your workbench, I'm pretty sure you'll be okay.
Pipe arrays.
Yeah. Just don't do stupid stuff and don't do illegal stuff. And if you do it like somewhere else and be smart about it. Like, come on, guys. But don't do it. Viper, Nord, and PIA are decent. Now I want to snag the domain name askingforafriend.net to upload questionable how to do it yourself projects. That's actually a great idea, Bacon. I could get down with that. I'll throw down on the domain with you. Like a 6, maybe a patriot, maybe not. But I think he killed his wife. What? Who are we talking about here?
I don't have a wife anymore. We talk about John McAfee.
I'm going back in here to see. I mean, there's nothing illegal about having pipes and stored black powder and some fireworks, fuses in your shop. It's when you spend 2 minutes of time on those objects, it's a felony. So that's where things get interesting, right? Because like I reload shotgun holes, right? So I have, and I have no problem showing this because it's illegal. So I have a bunch of powders, right? It's totally legal. Well, I also have like other stuff that like it's all about like it's never about what it is. It's about what it looks like. Okay. And as long as you don't have like funnels that are covered in powder and like a wooden dowel or maybe you make like rockets, like I would encourage that you pick up a hobby of model rockets very quickly if you're doing stuff like that. Now we're getting too far. Just don't do anything illegal. Can we talk about Terry Davis?
No clue who he is, but from my Google search, he built an operating system on his own.
Damn, that was a quick search. So Terry Davis. Oh, I heard about this. The guy built like a complete like operating system on his own and then went like kind of batshit crazy. I heard. This is the guy that drops the N-bombs a lot.
Yeah, I have no clue who the guy is. I will say though, I have an operating system that I built that is very small and it only lets you type on text onto a screen, but it's technically an operating system.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty epic.
I mean, it doesn't do much.
So like you could use it to like communicate between two machines.
Yeah, if I'd have to design it to do that, but there's really no need to if you just write a program that does that.
Interesting. What's your take on AI?
Artificial intelligence?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for part of my job, we kind of acknowledge it a bit. I don't want to go too much into what I do for work. You could just passive reconnaissance that information out if you'd really want it. But I think it's a good thing. It's, I mean, if you put it, AI is the human mind essentially. Whatever you're telling the AI to do, whoever told it to do that, it'll have the same moral compass, more or less. So if a bad person makes an AI, you're gonna have evil AI. If a good person makes AI, you're gonna have good AI. Just like software and malware.
Yeah. Interesting. Do you think there's a point that, because there's several books on this, but do you think that there's a point where, I'm not saying like it could go like Terminator on us, right? Like Skynet, but do you think there's a point that like it could grow and develop to a point that like we can't control?
I think once we see quantum computers being the average computer, as in we all have a quantum computer instead of a standard binary computer, like ones and
Yeah.
zeros. I think once that happens, then maybe that could be a possibility. But I don't think that our modern computing power can really enable that at all, because there's too much stuff that is uncertain that you need to be able to account for with such an AI.
Yeah. Yeah, what Opie said, yes. Never mess with that stuff at all for all legal uses. Has anyone spoken with Dugan lately? How is he? Yes, and he's
Oh, I'm on a list
online.
now.
Oh, did you look it up?
Yeah.
Yeah. I should have told you like disconnect from Wi-Fi, go to a private browser.
No
Oh,
worries. It's probably the fifth list.
yeah, yeah. Um, Here's a question. Yeah, see, take America back. Evil people are in charge, so we're fucked anyway. So, it's all good. Um, okay, so let's say this for an example. So, let's say I'm on my phone and I am in my home, I'm on my Wi-Fi, I'm doing a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, I want to look up something, not something like illegal, but I want to look up something that, I may not want
You want to
people,
look up something shameful.
yeah, right. Something shameful. Like I take all the picture frames and like lay them down in my room. No, I'm kidding. If I, with that same device, disconnect from Wi-Fi and go on like a private browser, like what do you call them? Private browser, incognito, like something like that.
Mhm.
Is that offering any level of protection at all?
Privacy wise, maybe not so much, but it does. Using the cellular network is more secure than using a Wi-Fi based network. But you're still connecting to an ISP's radio tower, and once that connection hits there, the ISP can look at it. And if you ever did any digging on the NSA spying on citizens, you'd know that once you hit the ISP room, you get right into a big old wiretap.
Dang. Love the no notification YouTube. Just happened to see you live, but late. Hell yeah. Glad you're here. The end is near. Beware. um, I do that shit dark. Watch a documentary, hear some explosives or something, and I need to know how it's made. I do the same thing more so like purely out of curiosity. I'm also just as fascinated with explosives as I am firearms. And I think that, if you are going to be a free man in America, You should study firearms, be able to build firearms, study explosives, and be able to build explosives. I think that's the only true way to
You're
fight
right.
tyranny.
You're right. Remember, gun control was passed. The GCA was passed after JFK was assassinated by LBJ, that president guy. Which means all gun control laws. Sorry for my propaganda, but all gun control laws were put in place to protect politicians and not the people. Remember that.
Mm, that's interesting. Only the coolest people get on lists. I'm like the Miles Davis of being on lists. Yeah. Don't feel bad. You're not the only one. Build firearms. What's that? Yeah. Man, let's not talk about the E word. I agree. That's a slippery slope, though. Well, it's only a slippery slope if you're breaking the law. So just don't break laws.
Yeah, Google likes to. I've seen Google literally remove a comment I posted on a video multiple times just because I dropped the F bomb. So
Yeah. Oh,
that
dude,
suppression is real on Google.
it's like YouTube literally removes likes, dislikes, comments. I've seen people come in and be like, "You're like," they think I'm like deleting their comments. I'm like, dude, I can barely read your comments, let alone moderate them. And my moderators can't even delete them. They can either leave you alone completely and not mess with you, or if they click to either put you in timeout or ban you, it deletes every single one of your posts that you've ever done. So it's like a whole thing.
Yeah, I noticed once I dropped the C in the word, it let me post it when I refreshed.
Yeah, so it's a funny thing, like just for
I
me,
think.
like fat fingering and like making mistakes. When I'm typing the F word, I usually like I would mistakenly type FUXK instead of C, and now my phone autocorrects to FUXK, and people are always like, "Yo, Dark, what's up with that?" I'm like, "It's just my phone just like automatically,
Phone's looking out for you.
yeah, right. It's editing me for myself." But um, dude, our own government trained me in the E word. I have a hard time with TSA every time I go to the airport. Is it just from residue that you can't get through? I'd love to. Tim Payne, were you EOD or were you? Oh, I see what you're saying. It ain't the residue; it's a list. I see. Okay.
I'm fairly certain that soldiers that come back from combat, I think they also get put on a list because from doing some research on
Yeah.
terrorism and what enables terrorism or causes it, apparently combat. So most
Yeah.
people that come back from war end up on a list.
Yeah. It's
Unfortunately.
no one got modded. We were talking about how YouTube, like, what do you call them? Like, what's the word? It deletes
That's it.
comments. It moderates comments. You could type something and they're like, I don't like this word, and it'll just come off. That was my first list. I know an EOD guy. Oh yeah. You said it before I typed it. The guest just explained it. Yeah. So interesting thing is that they're basically labeling any combat veteran as a potential domestic terrorist, and I think it's total bullshit. But yeah, I know an EOD guy as well, and they're nuts, but they're awesome. Sorry, a little off track there, but what what else you got for us?
It's always encryption. Encryption is in the same boat as guns. The government wants to take encryption from the people.
You mentioned that.
So, yeah. So, many people don't know about this, but that dude Lindsey Graham, he's been trying to, I'm not sure where the status of this is, but he's been trying to push what's called the Earn It Act. I think there's also one called like Erin. And it's all about stripping the people from solid encryption and putting government backed doors into the encryption. It's a field of study called kleptography, but it's stupid. It would allow anybody, it would allow a-holes like me to just figure out how it works, find a way to find the key, the second key, and break my way into everything. But since everybody in Congress and whatnot, they're all elderly apparently. They don't understand how this works, which is odd, seeing how encryption's older than all of us, still alive, back to Caesar time. But that's my message of the day. Treat encryption like it's your gun. It's your right.
Hell yeah! Like just like it's protected under the Second Amendment. I think that's crazy that they're trying to take that shit away. I am pulling something up. There's a question on the screen there. You see it?
How vulnerable is our grid to hackers? I mean, I don't know. I'm going to reference the pipeline hack. I don't know how the hackers got in, and the fact that I haven't seen any data personally about an exploit being used tells me that the hack was either an insider job or the result of a phishing attack, spear phishing. You know, directly sending evil stuff, emails and whatnot. So I would say that our grid is super vulnerable to hackers because apparently even in our pipelines, people don't know how to destroy random flash drives on the ground, don't know how to not open links in suspicious emails. And yeah, I'd say our grid is very vulnerable actually, because humans are things defending it.
Yeah, that's funny that I hear all the time that people find USB drives and bring them home and plug them into their computer.
Yeah. I mean, I have a bunch of little devices that I can program, and I can make it's a USB, and when you plug it in, it types whatever I told it to type into your computer, and I can use that to install malware of any kind. So it's really easy for those things to exist, and for some reason, not everybody's aware of it, which is odd because I'm pretty sure most places literally have training explaining this, and people still don't. That's what makes me think it was an insider attack, personally, and that's what I think will happen with the grid. It'll be an insider attack.
I was pulling up the executive order 13920. That's executive order 13920. Essentially, some of you may know, some of you may not know, but prior to the Biden administration, we had another president that wasn't looked at very highly by most people. Don't shalom me, mister. And Executive Order 13920 was essentially changing the software and hardware in every power grid and allowing it to be remotely accessed. If some type of crazy catastrophe happened, they want to be able to remotely access all the different power grids. Well, I see a big problem with that. Like, what?
Yeah, yeah. I'm happy you have some common sense in you. That is a huge problem. And massive, like, I mean, I don't want to start a flame war with anybody, but Trump, just as Biden, was a horrible president.
Yep.
And
We all agree.
I don't think either of those people should, like, the fact, like, again, insider threats, like that helps sway that opinion, is like a president can barely be trusted in America nowadays. And yeah, it's remote access to something that should be air gapped, as in not connected to any network at all. It's ridiculous.
Damn. 1663, I imagine you're saying fuck me because of the executive order. And obviously what Alex is saying. Let me remind you all, please, to like, subscribe, and share. Just so you may or you may not know, what YouTube does is around the 21st of every month, at least recently, they go through and they sweep subscriptions, which means that if there are bots or if there are YouTube channels that you're sub to and you're not very active, then they'll just come and they'll remove your subscription. So please make sure you're still subscribed. If you're not getting alerts, subscribe, click the bell, click all, just like, you know, we do for everything. It'd be super helpful because it turns out like 60% of you guys that watch me are not, I mean, not just me, right? The channel, sorry, but that watch us are not subscribed, which is crazy. And also make sure you like and share. Another thing that, yes, okay, so Tim nailed it. I'll hit that in a second. If you are streaming from your device to a TV, that also helps us break through the algorithm too, because they assume that you're watching it in the presence of others, which means it must be good and it must be popular and all that stuff. So it's weird things, sharing it via text message and all that. So yeah, so Tim Payne said that Dugan said it best a few months ago. They want us to kill each other. So the reason for, if you look back through, you know, the last 100 years, the last 50 years, the last decade, right? Like it's kind of like coned to this point where we're at like the precipice, I guess you'd say. You know, we're at the tip of the needle where there's been a complete and utter like bifurcation of our country. We have been split in two, and we have done it like on purpose, you know. And not only have we done it, we've formed like these ideological, like just these like beliefs. And if you guys know anything about the, you know, like the mind of a human and like the psychology behind it, logic makes you think and emotions make you act. And everything has been like, they're tying your emotions to political beliefs, and it is literally putting people out on the streets, and people are getting killed and people are dying. And it, you know, obviously the past year with all the riots and shit, like that's, you know, that's when shit hit a point of like total destabilization. But who knows whether it's a plan with, you know, the puppet masters that are pulling strings and everything is a strategic chess move, or this is all, you know, by happenstance. Either way, everyone in our country and in the world, like we're all brothers and sisters. And we always say, we always tell you guys, live a life of care, love, compassion, contribution, like give to others, like just, you know, be a good person, genuinely a good person, but also
to add on to
as
that,
much as
actually,
possible.
to add on to that, the only reason we're so divided is because we all, this comes down to voting, unfortunately, but it's because we're all registered as either a Democrat or Republican. I personally am not. But the day that a majority of the Americans are no longer willingly participating in the division by registering themselves as either left or right is the day that America's more united than it is now. I just had to throw that out there.
Yeah, it's a good point. There's labels. We all have labels. The more you were talking about has so much with what Snowden talked about with that John Strassel I watched right before this. Snowden has lots of knowledge. Snowden is like a freaking wizard level awesome. Like he's a good dude.
I have his book. Still haven't read it. Got it as a gift. I'll read it one day.
Hell yeah. The government overloads. I think overlords is what you meant. Know what is best for us and will keep you safe from all things good. I mean bad. Yeah, yeah. Freedom and liberty are a. It's almost like a personal choice. You can choose to live free today, regardless of what's going on in the world. You can choose to be free. And I had a great conversation with someone who is in California, and they are the furthest thing from free. And psychologically, spiritually, they live a life as a free man. And, you could still be as free as you can. Just don't allow
Yeah,
them to
so
pull the
long as you're
wool
not
over you.
impeding on somebody else's freedom. That's the one rule to freedom. Don't impede on someone else's.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, what are we missing? What are some other things you think would be valuable to the people in the DLD community?
Well, we've discussed keeping,
Excuse me.
maintaining, obtaining. No worries. We've discussed obtaining and maintaining privacy. We've discussed lightly how to prevent hacking. Where really all I said was update your computers, guys. Come on. I mean, I think we did discuss insider threats a bit and phishing attacks. I mean, I'm pretty sure we all know, hopefully, how to identify those. And we even discussed a bit about terrorism, uh, mostly the people being put on those terrorist lists, and how unfortunate it is that some people end up on that list.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, the direction is endless when it comes to cybersecurity. It all depends on which way you want to look.
So what kind of things could you do that would like blow our mind?
Um, well, there's a bunch of things. I mean, do you guys want to know how a how a fusion initiator works
That's
theoretically?
so that sounds like something crazy that I want to hear about and learn about. Yes, and after we hear about that, I want to play a quick game with you. But go ahead.
All right.
It'll be
So,
fun.
first of all, disclaimer. I do not have any of these materials, and I will never obtain any of these materials. And the information of this is already on YouTube. There's a whole class about it. But basically, what is a fusion initiator? Basically, I'm talking about nuclear armaments. Uh, so basically, how it works is you get a hollow sphere of either uranium or plutonium. You stick a little tube in there that shoots a neutron beam in there. Take this all with a grain of salt. And you surround that sphere with exciting e-words. and and you design that so that when it goes off in its direction, it all goes spherically at the same time towards the center of this sphere. When that happens, you are able to initiate I believe, a fusion reaction, which is where no. Again, with a grain of salt, I believe this is initiating a fission reaction where molecules are breaking apart, causing a big hooray. And
Correct.
yeah, you direct that hooray juice into the direction of a second sphere. And when that happens, it causes a fusion reaction where instead of breaking atoms apart, you're morphing them together, which releases more energy than a fission reaction, I believe. And then you get a super big hooray.
Is that what they call nuclear reflectors, or is that something different?
I believe it's related to all of that. But, I'm not a physicist. I'm not a mechanic. This is all public knowledge.
Yeah.
It's a
So in theory, I mean, it would be relatively simple to put something like that. Well,
yeah. The hardest part is building a centrifuge because you got to have this thing spinning around perfectly, like it can't fall over. Like if it falls over, it's not going to blow up, but it's going to send stuff flying everywhere, and it's not going to be good for anybody.
People said
But,
the stream went down for a second. Oh, that's too funny. Nukes are bad, okay?
Agreed. We should only use nuclear energy to power cities, our cars, and our homes.
Yeah,
And
why are
potentially
we not
spacecraft.
like? I have nuclear energy like powering my gun sights. Why can't we?
Because it all comes down to government. It's what it comes down to.
It all comes
They
down
don't want
to fighting for
government
oil.
and money.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
Yeah, now we're all on a list together.
Yeah, right. I'm taking some notes, which I'm gonna ask some questions for a little game. And as we go through and play this little game, I want you guys to throw out your questions too. Okay, hang on. Okay. So we're gonna play a game called. I'm wondering if we should do like if you should answer 1 through 10, 1 being easy, 10 being very difficult, or do simple, like medium, moderate, like whatever, and hard.
We'll do a mix of it. How about that?
Yeah, like basically, I'm going to ask you questions and you're going to say it's either easy, like medium level, or difficult, or like 10 is like almost impossible, but it can be done. Okay, so I guess easy, moderate, difficult. Accessing a camera on someone's device.
Moderate.
Moderate, okay. That's kind of scary because I bet it would be easy to you, but
So it all depends on how up to date the software is. Like if you have an Android phone, it's going to be easier for someone like me, no government access, to access it. If it's like an iPhone, you're probably going to need. Well, even then, Apple doesn't really like the government, so they say. But yeah, I would say moderate if it's an outdated phone. Easy if it's outdated phone.
Vocal Fry from Zany Town. Hey, I'm not on Xanax anymore. Okay.
No pills, powders, and needles, baby.
Yeah. Access a phone or device. So like gain remote access to someone's phone or device.
If it's an iPhone, that would be high, very difficult. If it's an Android, I would say if you're using social engineering to help you, easy.
Okay, tell me more. What do you mean by that?
So if I convince you to turn on developer mode for your Android and essentially root it, I can then also convince you to install software that is unofficial that could have backdoors in it. With Apple, you can't really do that.
Okay. Yeah, Apple's like super encrypted, but they make it seem like it's to the benefit of the consumer when truly it's just to their benefit from competition. Right?
Yeah. But I mean, at the same time, it does make the consumer more safe. I mean, it's not easy to create a jailbreak for an iPhone. Like Android, you can literally push a button. It's built in to jailbreak your Android, but it's not built in to do that with an iPhone.
Armitage asks, is there a point where the phone gets so outdated that the code becomes obscure and it becomes hard to hack?
No. The longer the code stays around, the more the attackers or the threat actors have, the more time they have to review and identify vulnerabilities in the code in the entire system in general.
Damn. Someone asked, what's your channel? Do you have your own like YouTube channel? Or?
Nope.
Dude, you
No,
should
just kind
totally
of.
start one.
I've had many people say I should. Maybe I will.
If I can do it with a couple dusty ass dudes with crusty beards, you definitely can too. Actually, you already fit in, man. You're in
Yeah,
there.
I mean, the beard was more crusty, like I used, but
I
welcome
trimmed
to the
mine, so
Bestoso
don't
world.
feel bad. Like mine was
Yeah.
crusty too. Not
If
saying
I
you have a
shaved my
crusty
beard, you'd see how young I actually am.
beard. Are you in your 20s?
Yeah.
It's just a good guess.
High, low.
Yeah, all right, we'll do the prices right. Getting an address, like a specific
Getting an address,
address.
like a home address,
Yeah,
easy.
easy. Oh, you guys hear that? Easy, like that. He answered.
But if you're good at what you do, no, it's still pretty easy because the government puts your information out on the internet to find
Yep.
anyways.
It's I could give a resource that you got. Now it used to be really good, but they kind of like neutered it. Like you used to be able to do a reverse search on one piece of information. Let's say you only had a phone number or a name, or you knew what state they lived in, right, with the name and all that. But um, you could do a reverse search on one piece of information, find everything about them, every potential related person that has any, if they've got a phone number, if they have an address, even if they rent, you'll start.
Public
You
record.
could literally get their landlord's information. It'll break it down to tell where they live, the square footage of their home, what type of heating and air conditioning they have, like social media accounts, their social standing, if they have good credit, bad credit, like all sorts of stuff. And now it doesn't give that much info, but it still gives some good stuff.
Yeah, it's nowadays you gotta look at more than one resource, use more than one web browser, or like Google, Bing, DuckDuckGo. You got to use all of them if you want to find the most amount of information. But
For sure.
yeah, a lot of that stuff's easy to find because the government literally puts a lot of this information out for everybody to see. If you buy property, odds are someone knows your name, they'll find where that property is.
Yeah. Yeah. And just so you know, guys, like when you buy property, the title is recorded by a title company in your city, in your county, and like there's no way to hide from it. So um does he own a gun or just a computer? And there's an AR-15 in the background, so I'll let you guess. Now we can't. I know people are commenting on the gun in the background. You can't. You can't handle firearms on a live stream, but you can have them like sitting, like propped, like posted, whatever. Um, but like if someone were to pick it up, then YouTube would shut us down because they think we're gonna immediately do terrible things. Someone says you should have a channel called Guns and Guitars.
Eh, I'm not too into guitars. I just kind of play whatever my heart tells me to.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, there's no room for hacking if it's Guns and Guitars.
Exactly.
Um,
Unless that's the disguise.
get a list of family members.
Get a list of family members. I mean, it's just as easy as finding an address.
Yeah.
Maybe I would say it's like if we're going low, medium, high, it's like in between low and medium, depending on who the family is,
Okay.
how well associated they are with each other.
Okay. Um, find someone's physical location. Like if they are on a device somewhere transmitting, obviously, right? They're talking to you and you're like, I need to find this person ASAP.
Well, if you have an IP address, I do believe it's possible to get the actual coordinates of that IP address of the modem. If you're using a cell phone or like a walkie-talkie or something of the likes that just uses EMF, electromagnetic waves or whatever, you can actually use, like I have this dongle right here. This is a poor example, but you can use something like this that can emit and receive, and you can actually get the physical location of a device that's emitting a radio frequency. That's not one you want. One that's more of like a house antenna looking thing. But it's, if you have the technical know-how, it's easy. For the average person with some research, probably medium.
Okay. Jay-Z, brother, it's good to see you back, man. I was getting worried about you. And that was actually me that hit you up. It wasn't like an imposter. Someone said, find someone's like finances.
I think that one might be a little bit more hard because we have laws such as like the HIPAA compliance laws, and then laws regarding PII, personally identifiable information. All of that stuff is typically required by law to be protected by proper encryption, proper devices, physical security, all of that good stuff. So the only way you're getting that information is if you buy it off the deep web, or you skip that middleman and you hack a database and exfiltrate that data. So that's going to be a hard task.
Okay. I'm looking through it at some of the comments here. Someone had said, how do you stop a BLM protest? Play the national anthem. Ping their phone. You can buy the software from China. I wouldn't buy any software from China. If federally employed, can you get it with a FOIA?
Yes. Well, not a FOIA. You can get it with a warrant.
Commie's gonna commie. Take a knee. Okay. List of family members, someone's location, an IP address.
Super easy to get an IP address. If you're playing Xbox with somebody, you can get their IP address.
So about that, now with that IP address, you can then do some type of reverse search on it and find out where they physically are.
Yeah, I mean, you can even go as far as doing what's called a port scan against that IP address. And if they have some web server that they set up for their buddies, if they don't maintain that web server, you can likely find a vulnerability or a pre-made exploit to gain access to that system entirely.
What? Dude, that's crazy. Space Texan said, "Hey, no wagging your dongle on the stream." That's great.
Hey, there's no laws about cyber armaments yet.
Yeah, not yet, right? Dude, my cousin is a real nerd hacker. He will wreck your day if he wants. He's gonna teach my son to code next year. I'm too far gone. He's not talking about wrecking your day, but the proverbial not you, right?
Yeah, he's like that dude will wreck your day, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I am by no means a professional. I mean, I've been trying to get the OSCP certification. I failed twice. Not easy. It's a 24-hour exam.
Dang.
Yeah.
This next one is a little scary. Listen in on someone's mic on a device.
Well, I mean, that kind of goes back to hacking into the device.
Yeah.
If you're like the company that owns the device and you can push code to the device via updates, the possibilities are endless for you being able to do that. But if you're a common person like me or you, it's the same deal. You need a vulnerability that you can then exploit to gain access to the device first. And most of these things, say you do hack into the device, now you're like in the file system of it. Most of the time, unless something was really misconfigured, you then have to exploit a second vulnerability to go from a sandboxed environment to full access. It's called privilege escalation and jailbreaking.
Right. So, okay. there are apps that like people use to see if their like significant other is cheating, right? And those apps that you download for free, they track GPS. So you basically sneak it. It's like a hidden app on someone's phone.
Yep.
And I heard about this. I never like, actually like seen it in action, but apparently like, so significant other sleeping or whatever, you take their phone, you put their thumb on it and you walk off and you, download some type of hidden app, and it then sends the information to your phone and it gives GPS. You can hop on the mic whenever you want. You can, apparently some said like that, like you could open the camera, like all sorts of stuff. I just feel like that is such like a terrible tool. That's probably a setup that's probably used just to take advantage of people's privacy.
Without a doubt. Such a tool, I think, would have a tough time getting on an iPhone, because Apple doesn't. Yeah, they hate the consumer, but they do love their privacy, So,
Yeah.
but when it comes to like an Android, I can see maybe something like that being allowed on the Play Store. I mean, it has a pretty good reputation of having malware on the Play Store. Like Google allowed it to go there on accident.
Yeah.
So it's I would not doubt if such a device is also being used by the creators of that device to eavesdrop on people.
That's a good point. Keylogger.
Keylogger, installing one, that's just as easy. As long as you have administrative rights to whatever it is, it's very easy. I mean, unless you're like say you found what's called an XSS vulnerability, cross-site scripting vulnerability in a website, you could put in some JavaScript that tracks your keys, and that's a very easy hack to do.
Dang. Okay.
It's all about
Now,
the
do you
context.
do Java, Drupal? Like, what kind of stuff do you do?
So initially, I love C programming language.
Okay.
I
Like
know
C++.
C++. I get paid to write C#, but
Okay.
I also know Python, Perl, and Ruby through my computer hacking studies with writing exploits and stuff.
Okay. Is the IP address in the email?
It's not directly in the email, but I believe there is an IP address in the email header. Like if you have like Outlook or something, it's much easier to get the email header. But yes, there are IP addresses in emails.
Space Texan said, anyone looks into my shit, they're going to burn their device and coddle themselves in the shower. I'm a fucking weirdo.
Best way to keep them out. Make them scared to look.
Oh, knocking out the power. Difficulty rating 5.
I mean, if we're talking about the power on a house, all you got to do is go to the side of the house and with some technical know-how, unplug the thing.
What? Hold on.
I mean,
so with a device, you can do that?
With a what?
With a device, you can do that?
Oh
about, like,
no!
food, like...
If you like I'm talking like Jason Voorhees, like.
Okay.
But like if you have a smart home, and that smart home is controlling your lights and your stove and your fridge,
Yeah.
then at that point it could be possible to disrupt that and permanently make it so you turn it on, but it's just pew, it's like turn back on, but pew, it's like rolling up your window and then your car is just like, no, screw you, and rolls itself back down.
It is funny that in this day and age where, everything is controlled, everything is a psyop, everything is compromised, like everyone is going to this new smart home thing where your heating and cooling, your, appliances, your water, like everything is connected to a smart device that you can turn on and off remotely, which means that if someone, like, say, the government wanted to just turn off your electricity and your water, they could, like that.
I mean, they already can, and they don't
Yeah,
even need to have remote access to do it.
yeah, for
Turn a
sure.
valve, unplug a thing.
Yeah, but now they can just say a
Now
hacker
a
did
foreign
it.
government can do it. Yeah, now
Yeah,
a foreign government can do it. That's the thing.
yeah. Um, listen to my. So you mentioned something called a port scan.
Yeah,
What's a
port
port
scan.
scan?
So it ports. So your computer has an IP address, right?
So I
When
gotta
you
put
connect,
my gun's
when
super
you can,
uncomfortable. Sorry.
no worries, no worries. So your computer has an IP address. So say you go to google.com, you connect to a domain, and that domain gets turned into an IP address. And when you connect to like an HTTPS website, you connect to the IP address on port 443. So a port is like a little window into a network. And a port, so there's only 1 through 65535 types of ports. That's a number. Um, and a port scan basically is the equivalent of walking up to a door and going like to see if it's locked or unlocked, see if anything's
Uh,
there. It's if anything, it's more like going up to like a wall where you think there might be a secret door and pushing on the wall to see if that door exists.
okay.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, and there's a tool that everybody, like I have it on my Mac right now. It's called Nmap, the letter N and then map as in doors map,
Okay.
and you can use that tool to conduct a port scan. Legal to do as of now. It's legal to conduct a port scan against anything. It's just illegal to act on the information obtained by that port scan.
Damn, that's crazy, dude. Waiting on someone to remote drive a random person's Tesla and cause a huge accident or plowing into people, as effed up as that sounds. Is that
I mean,
possible?
yes, it's actually possible to remote control a car that's not a Tesla.
That's
There,
what I
there's
heard.
a there's a nice DIF CON video, I think, or one of those channels that had something like that. But with the Tesla, I mean, even with cars that have like the driving assist,
Yeah.
you can actually use reflections on the ground to trick the driving assist into turning in a way that it was not intended to turn, uh, thereby causing a car crash without even using any actual remote connections.
What?
Yep.
Damn. Dude, that's nuts. Um, Tim Payne said they can hack a plane with a laptop now. Bad stuff.
Yeah, I heard a little while back that there was a vulnerability in one of the Boeing models of airplanes. Um, I don't recall what came of that. I think the company tried to say that it wasn't a critical vulnerability, but those types of vulnerabilities do exist in important machines such as airplanes, and
Yeah.
it's almost impossible to prevent. Almost impossible to prevent.
Damn. That's crazy. Someone said, I got to get back there, but someone said that in the hood, people tie their pit bulls to the electric meters so that they can't get their power turned off. It's a good way to get your pit bull thwacked by animal control if the
Yeah,
electrician can't get to the meter.
I mean,
That's,
if it's just kind of sitting there.
yeah. Shining mirrors on the roadway can trick the car's computer. A lot of
Yes, it
new
can trick.
cars. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, so my car has some steering assist, and I was driving through like New Jersey or something, and it wasn't raining, but it was wet.
Yeah.
And for some reason, so you can also use holograms to trick a car like this. But I was driving in the lines, and for some reason, a reflection on the road from the wet ground just looked like a turn to my car and made my car go like. I'm like, ugh.
What?
Turned off the driving assist. I still use it like a dummy, but I did not use it for the duration of that ride.
That's crazy. A lot of new cars have electric power steering, electric brakes, and electric throttle. I work on cars and think about how they could be controlled remotely.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want to, like, I'm not saying you should do this, but if you really want to learn how that works and how it can be possible to remote control a car, you just need to look at how the antenna connects to the main system, and then you need to just look at, for example, the cruise control, which controls braking, acceleration, and all that good stuff. So, including steering in some cases. So it's all about cruise control and the wireless connection.
Damn. So if you didn't already believe that every single thing was compromised and that anyone could get into anything and find out who you are and probably destroy your life too, now you know the truth that most of this stuff, there was only one thing that was like really difficult that we mentioned. And like with some of these things, accessing your camera on a device, accessing a phone or a device, getting an address, getting a list of your family members, finding your physical location, your IP address, listening on a mic, like all of these things were between easy and like moderate. Like think of how crazy that is, dude. That's
Yeah,
nuts.
it, update your computers and cell phones at all costs.
See, I'm scared of updates. I think the updates are gonna like
Don't be.
install something terrible in my phone.
Yeah, don't be. That's simple. Like, just think of it like this: if Apple really wanted to install something, or Google wanted to install something evil on your phone, they have the ability to do that without your permission. They can
Yeah.
just have the phone do that. You don't need to install the update for that to happen.
Oh, this B3, that's not off topic at all. What do you think about Faraday cages for electronics?
I think they're pretty cool, to be completely honest. Like, I mean, like when, like if my phone were to be seized by the FBI today, they would throw it in a Faraday cage so that it can't make some call elsewhere or have a remote call come in to delete what's on it.
Yeah,
So I think they're pretty cool. I personally have always wanted to try to find a way to create a device that circumvents that, but that is neither here nor there.
that would be pretty cool. So if could, I mean, did the Faraday bags like really completely block signal?
Yeah, from my understanding, yes, it prevents electromagnetic frequencies from doing what they do best. It basically it waves up, hits the edge, and then goes back and bounces around.
Wow. Yeah, that's one thing that I've never invested in, just because I always thought that it could be compromised. Unplugged microwave works as a Faraday cage. From what I've been told, the only way a microwave works as a Faraday cage is if you turn it on with the phone inside.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that if I put my phone in there right now, I could still receive a text message.
Yeah. That's crazy, man.
I'm about to try it though. I'm gonna try it.
I feel bad for you folks living north of the Mason-Dixon line. If you know what I mean, it's no good for even the people who support tyranny. They just don't know it yet. Move south. Yeah. Yeah, man.
I mean, I was in Rhode Island, not anymore.
Oh, good, man. Nice. Well, you got an AR, so I mean, you're at least in a place that.
I bought it in Rhode Island.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have a week and a half waiting list, or like a week waiting list to buy guns, a cool down period. And what it did nothing but make me angry.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. Like, I never understood that. Like, no one is going to walk in. Not no one. Well, that's a totally different topic. But yeah, it seems like you're in a free enough state, so that's awesome. Dude, I appreciate you coming on. So we give every guest that comes on the ability to or the honor to name the stream. So you get to name this. Now I put in something funny, secure security, right? But you can name this stream whatever you want. I'll give an example. When we had Cody Wilson on, the 3D printer ghost gunner guy, he was like, "Oh shit, fuck." So we named the episode "Shit Fuck." So
Yeah, I'm thinking espionage, guns, and guitars. like espionage, comma, guns, comma, guitars.
Nice. Okay, espionage, guns, and guitars. You got it. Cool, man. Well, anyone else? If you have any other questions, drop them in chat. And we're getting close to 2 hours, so we're gonna call it guns and guitars. You have anything else? Any final words or closing quote or anything like that?
I honestly just my one wish is that everybody treats cryptography as they treat their gun rights. Treat cryptography rights as your gun rights because they're equally as important.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and to that Technoman 2040, if you have like no script enabled and you want to watch a video, you just have to go through and enable the scripts that allow the video to play. That's what I do. I only enable the things that allow things to work.
Damn. So you're running like a minimalist setup on your phone?
No, my phone's just an iPhone, but every browser I have, I run no script and ad blocker.
Oh, gotcha. I see what you're saying. Do the ad blockers really work?
I mean, I haven't seen it. YouTubers probably hate me for this, but I haven't seen a YouTube ad in a very long time.
Dude, my stupid ass pays for YouTube Premium, and I'm a freaking content creator. Like, I just don't want to watch ads.
I mean, I'm not going to say don't do it because, we're in YouTube's house right now. But I personally am. I mean, I don't even have Netflix or like Amazon, whatever.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you right now, I canceled Amazon Prime. I canceled Netflix. I canceled Disney Plus. I canceled the indoctrination shit that ABC Mouse, like every single thing that could be traced back to something that was like programming, deprogramming, and all. I was like, cancel.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I canceled Amazon Prime as well.
Yeah, man, it's a joke, man. I'm not gonna feed the beast. I know, man. Paying for YouTube, can you believe it? I'm paying for convenience. Can you believe that? I'm paying for convenience in a world of convenience and consumerism. Well, there we are. All right, cool. We'll call it there. Let me make sure there's no other gay porn on the CIA website. That is awesome. What? Remember that hacker that put gay porn on the CIA website? Who was that? Do you know anything about that?
I do not. Sounds hilarious, though.
Yeah.
That would be considered vandalism.
Yeah, really. Sounds well deserved.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like the CIA does some good stuff. The only people I don't like is ATF, to be completely honest.
Yeah. They're not good. Oh, someone has a question. Glock or 1911?
I mean, I'm such a noob. I don't have either. But
so this,
I mean, I wouldn't go for either of them because I don't know I know what a Glock is. From my understanding, Glock doesn't have a safety, so I probably would go for the other.
They're safe. They're
I'm not saying that they're not safe, but like
it doesn't have a. So before I pick this up, any YouTube moderators that are watching this is not a firearm. This is just a firearm component. It is the base of a firearm, okay, only. So inside here, you have the trigger. The trigger is being held up by a little piece of polymer right there. And then once that is depressed directly in the middle only, then the trigger can be pulled. Once that is pulled, you have this little like elbow right there that moves up, and then that depresses a hole in depresses a piece of steel in a hole to go up, and then it exposes. So the firing pin system, the striker, is basically up against a solid block of steel, and then when that elbow pushes it up, it lines up a hole that the striker is able to go through and pin it, hit around. So you have like essentially several safeties on a Glock, but no manual safety to manipulate like a traditional 1911 or a Beretta or whatever. But if you ever have any gun
I'd
questions,
probably go for a revolver. I'd probably go for a revolver if anything.
yeah,
So I could do like
revolvers are
that.
good guns. Yeah,
Do some
revolvers are
sharpshooting.
good guns.
And
They don't have safeties either.
yeah, it's like I invalidated myself.
No, it's good, man. I've carried a Glock almost every day. I mean, I've carried other stuff. I carry revolvers, carry little Keltec 380s and Ruger 380s, and big guns, small guns. So I've carried it all, but Glocks, I just love Glocks. They're great guns. But if you ever have any questions, man, you feel free to reach out anytime.
I will.
One last question.
Yeah.
Did you tell that the phone number that I gave you was a burner number?
Nope, didn't bother to check.
Ah, okay, cool. All right. Awesome. Dude, thank you so much for coming on, Alex. Everyone show Alex some love in the chat. A lot of people jumped in and said, this is a bunch of great information. Oh, Walter, I didn't even see you, brother. Awesome info, Alex. Thank you with the 223.
You're welcome.
Hell yeah. A lot of people jumped in and said, oh, now we're having a 1911 verse Glock chat over here. Yeah, hell yeah. Everyone basically said great info, good stream. Awesome, man. Dude, thank you for coming on. I appreciate you taking the time to do this, and we'd love to have you back on, dude. Honestly, I'd love to have you back on with Sport Brand to talk about that little project.
Yeah, I mean, I loved being on, and I appreciate for the opportunity to speak.
Hell yeah, man. Thank you. You're awesome, dude. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a good night, man.
You too, and everybody in the chat as well. Hell
yeah. Later, guys. Word. That was cool, man. I enjoyed that. There's the fact that, I mean, if anyone with malicious intent has those skills, which a lot of people do, like that's some dangerous stuff. Booger hook off the bang switch. Yeah, that's rule number one. Yeah, now I'm going to talk to him about getting a channel because he would do a really good job on the YouTubes. So I'm kind of tempted to read a letter before we cut off here. A viewer sent me a letter with one bullet, and I'm tempted to read it, but yeah, he's very knowledgeable. I'm tempted to read it, most of it at least, and can't believe I forgot to mention burner phones. I'll let you guys put, I need to grab something real quick. I'll let you guys put in the chat if you want me to read it or not. Otherwise, we're gonna call it a day. Where's my key? All right, yeah. 1 second. Okay. I need a friend like Alex. Hell yeah. Read it. Get it out. Please read. Do it. What's this letter about? Read it or I won't be able to sleep. Cat's out of the bag. Yeah, I guess I should have done that. Yeah, it is dangerous. You guys are lucky my hacking skills suck because I hate coding. The dark needs a love letter segment. Better check how it's loaded. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna, I mean, you know. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna read some of it. I'm not gonna read all of it, okay? And you guys gotta understand that, like, I get some weird stuff. Chris Carter, thank you for the 556. got here late. Gonna listen to this on my drive tomorrow. You're gonna like it. It was a blast, man. It was cool to do like you know. Yeah, Alex, dude. Thank you again for coming on. Like, you have to make a YouTube channel. Like tonight. One bullet, Dan, that's $1. Like, create a YouTube channel tonight, make a video saying like, hey, what's up, y'all? It's Alex. I'm going to make a video on guns, guitars, and espionage. Seriously though, man, you should really consider doing that. Chris Carter, thank you again, brother. I appreciate you. You will not be disappointed. This was a really good one. Oh yeah, the stream. Yep. Okay, so I guess let's jump in. Dark. Guys that know what we know carry a heavy burden. We've lost friends and loved ones in a different way than everyone else does. Not only do we lose them to sickness or death, but to mind control and indoctrination. They don't think the same way we do. They think you're crazy, or you're hateful, or any number of any buzzwords. I don't know if there's any solution to this problem, or at least a complete solution. For my part to this problem, or at least, hold on. Sorry. For my part, okay, I'm skipping this part. Okay. Don't talk about this stuff, like this type of stuff we discuss on our channel, with your wife if you can help it. I imagine she will find out soon that you were right anyway. When that day comes, don't tell her I told you so. Tell her you're sorry and that it's time to go to work. Skipping this. So much of how people think has been programmed into them. At any rate, hold on. Anyway, I want you to know that what you're doing is important. I understand what you meant when you said you saw the benefits of eating a 115 grain pill. I imagine in the future that will look like a better and better option. We could well be looking at our own children brainwashed, obedient, slaves, or if we're lucky, dead. That reality is enough to make anyone want a quick way out. When or if that day comes, I want you to remember the value the world and your people have for a moral man who lived free his whole life and has nothing to lose. Enclosed is one 115 grain 9mm jacketed hollow point that has lived in the chamber of my enter firearm here for years. Don't eat it. Feed it to a high-value reactive target instead, preferably backed up by a 55-gallon drum or two filled with Skittles. At any rate, the single best prep you can ever do is spiritual. It will keep you grounded. It will heal your soul and protect you from being a victim of your own rage. I know this from firsthand experience. That does not mean God doesn't want you to hate or to rage. Just remember that he has to be the one to channel it, or you're fucked. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. 12:19, Romans. Wake up as many people as you can, and if possible, learn how to have holy hatred. That's a based and moral hatred, firmly channeled in godly morality. David said to God in prayer, I hate them with a perfect hatred. I count them my enemies. He was speaking of bloody men who hate God. I think Zionist Christ-hating pedophiles fit that mark pretty soundly. Finally, I would like to share my favorite psalm with you. I plan to say this as my last prayer, if I'm lucky enough to be in the position to do so. Psalm 144:1. Praise be to the Lord, my rock, who trains my hands for war, my fingers for battle. He is my loving God and my fortress, my stronghold and my deliverer, my shield in whom I take refuge, who subdues people under me. He then went out and genocided a whole genetic lineage and cut their dicks off. I'm not shitting you. He circumcised the whole army of Philistines. I'm not saying all this in a sanctimonious way. I am a man with many sins, and all I can tell you is that God and Jesus saved me from going postal and made me a sober and humble father. It's a miracle and more than I deserve. I fully plan on dying screaming, probably sooner rather than later. I hope that his name is the last thing on my lips, and that I served him. We are in a righteous war. We are going to serve him in this cause, whether we are dying for freedom, as an atheist, or a Buddhist, or whatever. But if we are dying for freedom, why not for him too? This is my hope for everyone, but especially to my countrymen who fight this battle. If you ever are in need or have a problem I can help you with, give me a ring. Your shamelessly unrepentant anti-Semite friend, name. What's up, brother? And then one of his children wrote down, Dark. Thanks for teaching people how to live free, from child's name. Dang. John Crump, what's up, brother? Oh, with the super chat. Thanks, brother. Hey, I gotta get together with you and get that printer. When are you going to Iraq Veteran 88 shoot? Yeah, that's a pretty intense letter, and I wanted to read that because a lot of people, I don't know, I found it important to share. Okay, and if oh, you're there right now. Word. Have fun. Be safe. Stay vigilant. Carry a weapon. I'm just kidding. Name that creator. Love your enemies, but that doesn't mean not having discernment of people intending you harm. I'm glad you read that. Thank you. Take me to church. Amen. Crump, I'm jealous. Yeah, it's not like I was gonna go with you or anything, No big deal. I'm not like, salty at all that I'm not there with you right now. I'm just kidding. No, I would have been like remarkably grateful just at the thought of coming in the future. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you. You're an awesome person. And the person that sent me this letter, I appreciate you a great deal as well. And funny enough, on the bullet that he sent me, you can expect the Goyas to be catching the hollow points in the future. I don't know what it's going to look like, and I don't know, but hell yeah, I'll be going in October. Jared, yep, Guns and Gadgets, you got it. Yeah, I just felt compelled to read that, especially with the piece, like, in this like environment, like with our people, like we're so like not willing to talk about God as much, not willing to talk about Jesus, and it's I know everybody's got different beliefs, and I love all y'all, and I love all of your independent beliefs, and I would fight and die for you to be able to retain those beliefs. But I just felt compelled to read it, so that's all. I'm going to end it on that note. I love each and every one of you. I truly do. And We all have a bullet with our name on it. We just don't know when that will be. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. It just got dark, man. I didn't mean for it to get dark, you know. I just wanted to read something, you know, impactful to you guys. But yeah, I will definitely be going with you in October, Grumpy. And oh yeah, if you fear death and you fear life. China wants to take over. They are an evil cult that is trying to take over the world. Yep, and we are working with them. Hammer down. You know what? For you, I got the old Damascus hammer for you. Hammer down. Oh, so Matt Telhart. So Matt Telhart is taking a break from social media, and you know, a little life change. He's just busy and taking a break. So before the rumor mill starts and says that, you know, whatever, he, you know, went to go, you know, fly helicopters, and, you know, he quit being a mod for DLD, whatever the fuck. No, we were just talking. He's all good. He's happy and healthy and as grateful as ever. And a lot of people are making big moves, man. And you guys are emailing me, telling me that you're making big moves, that you're buying land, that you're planting crops, that you're becoming as self-sustainable as you possibly can. And that shit is, what the fuck? Come on, man. Don't say that. That is why I'm doing this. Okay. I'm on that journey too. Like, I'm not completely self-sufficient yet, right? I mean, shit, my strawberries were gone like that. Think about that, right? How quickly can all of your crops be snatched right from you? So I'm going to go. I love all y'all. Take it easy. Be safe. Be dangerous. And thank you. Be grateful. Love y'all. Peace.